Well. It has been almost 2 years since I had uploaded my original Mario's Madness ranking. Yeah, it's gone now. However, I decided to take a very original indeed, approach to this topic of ranking FNF mods because for one, I like to do longer videos, and two, I'm just too lazy to actually play some of the mods, edit it all, and debating whether I should give commentary. So now I present to you my remastered ranking of Mario Madness version 2. And until the hotfix comes out, I might get this outdated, depending on when it releases. Plus, school's about to start, so I'm in a bit of a hurry to upload this. And just a brief disclaimer, all of this is just my opinion on how I do these songs. I love FNF music a lot. Like, a lot. But I'm not entitled to any sort of opinion, and I don't say that these are any factual statements of any kind, because everyone likes a different kind of music, so yeah. A lot has changed since I last viewed this mod, so without further ado, here it is.
Please. We need you to hope again.
I know this may come as a shocker to some people, because I've seen a lot of people actually like No Hope, but I honestly don't really enjoy No Hope as much as I used to. I still think it's a good song. It's a B tier after all, the lowest B tier, but I just don't think it's as strong as the other song. Devil Mario's chromatics sound nice, especially with the high notes around the end of the song. His deep notes are good, but they honestly sound kind of grainy, I guess. They sound a bit off, but it's not an annoying thing that makes me like rather rank this song in a lower spot. Not like I wanted to anyway, since all the songs are above B tier. Boyfriend throughout the whole song sounds nice, also sounding nice with the high notes like Devil Mario. The instrumental does have the medieval battle feel to me, which, if it's what it's trying to go for, I think sounds pretty good for the original premise that Devil Mario is based off of. And my main problem with the song is that I just find it a bit repetitive at times. To elaborate, I know that they use different notes for pretty much every turn, but they just don't sound like their own unique thing. I like the melodies personally, but I think they could use a few key changes instead of just at the end of the song. So, No Hope might be the quote-unquote worst song of this ranking, but like I said, there are no bad songs at all. I just don't think it's very enjoyable as much as I thought it would be.
Oh my god, he's so goddamn cool!
In my opinion, So Cool might seem a bit overlooked, as I've seen multiple people call this song genuinely trash and out of place with this mod. I personally don't mind it being in the mod. I think the song is pretty good. The thing about So Cool for me though is that although it does sound a bit basic, in my opinion, I think it fits Chris Pratt's character pretty well. His chromatic sounds good just by itself, which honestly I wasn't expecting at all when I first played this mod, but I'm happy with how he sounds, really. The instrumental does have its moments, but the pixel part is most likely my favorite, as it just acts as a nice switch up instead of using the same instrumental throughout the whole song. Boyfriend does sound nice too. I don't really have much to say, but I mean sure, the song does look out of place for something like a horror mod, even Mario's Madness. And the song can sound sort of basic, but you gotta admit, it does sound nice and it has its own thing. I feel like it has its own charm to it. quick fun fact, I love horror topics, especially things like urban legends, myths, and ARGs. So when I saw Thalassophobia in the mod, I felt instant nostalgia with the whole L is real urban legend, especially because I love to binge iceberg videos. I don't know, I feel like they're really interesting. Back to the song though, it kind of sucks that we're getting a different version once the deluxe update comes out, but it was fun to have Thalassophobia while it lasted at least. Luigi's chromatic sounds perfect for the concept of him being underwater. It genuinely sounds muffled from the water, and I love that about it. I could talk about Boyfriend more, but the only thing I can really say is that he sounds good because of them using only one Boyfriend chromatic, except for like 3 songs out of the 28. The duets feel satisfying to listen to, and the instrumental is just on another level for a song like this. Usually I don't find songs with an instrumental like Thalassophobia that sounds like this, but with the solo section near the middle and that organ, it just sounds so good. Literally no vocals were needed for that part, and I'm glad they decided to give the instrumental its own moment throughout the whole almost 4 minutes in length. Speaking of which, I guess my only complaint about Thalassophobia is that it can be a bit long. I wouldn't necessarily say it's dragged out, but there's a lot of pauses that just let the instrumental play out. I think it's fine that they did that, but I think they could have made the song overall shorter. Overall, great song, nice melodies, but could be like almost around 3 minutes in length.
Mario!
And here we are, the catalyst that started it all. And it's only in the bottom 5, which are all B tier, just to reiterate. I know, my tanks are gonna piss off a lot of people, but excuse me for having an opinion. Enough about that little rant. It to me is a really, really good opening for the whole mod, and is miles better than version 1, which I don't even want to listen to it or remember it for that matter. But anyway, Mario's new vocals sound so good to listen to, and I'm very happy that he no longer sings the same flat and boring melody over and over again. The instrumental sounds so much better with the new melodies, and I could honestly go on and on about how much better the new version is compared to version 1. So why is it only number 25? Well, think about it. The first song doesn't really need to be the best song for a huge mod. For me, if a mod has a good opening song, then it would be very promising to check out everything else within the mod. But if it sounds bad, then, well, you could think of multiple things to not be as excited for the OST. Luckily, It's a Me got a huge glow up, and I'm happy with how it currently sounds. And just to talk about the ending, I'm glad they actually put in the work to make Horror Mario look menacing. Since the last update, all he did was spam a laugh like 15 times and then just go back to his original sprite. But now they changed up the instrumental and made memorable melodies, and the duets between Horror Mario and Boyfriend sound really, really good. Strong opener, strong mod, but I think it's not as strong as the other songs. I wasn't expecting myself to put Racist Mario above Horror Mario in terms of their songs, but they actually made it more listenable compared to the tragedy that is Race Traders version 1. The first version sounded horrible and made Mario just annoying to listen to with all of the screaming in his chromatic. Now here's the thing, I love atonals, and Racist Mario uses atonals in version 1, so why am I calling it trash? Because the song sounded bland, there were no good melodies, Boyfriend's chromatic sounded weird, and Racist Mario was just absolutely obnoxious throughout the whole thing. If a song was to use atonals, they had to make everything else sound good, and the atonals have to actually be good to listen to. But anyway, version 2 gave Race Traders an amazing glow up. They used the voice lines from the video as Racist Mario's chromatic, and it sounds so much better for his character. And I believe they used the same Boyfriend chromatic from version 1, and if they did, I don't know what they did differently, but it also sounds so much better. The song itself feels faster and actually makes the melodies better to listen to. And the extension does give a nice original section instead of just remaking version 1's length time and just calling it a day. I wish that they would remake the whole song just like For It To Me, but I'm happy with how it sounds with the new chromatics.
Oh my God!
And now we move on to the A tiers, starting with Apparition. I could honestly say the same thing for this song as I did with Race Traders, except Apparition was just an okay song back in version 1. Wario's new chromatic sounds very good in version 2, however, but I think they could have taken the time to make Wario sound like an actual ghost like in version 1, hence his name Wario Apparition. Last time we only got silence besides laughing and an instrumental that tenses up in the intermission section, but now we actually have Wario saying a voice line. The rest of the song is pretty much just good, but again, I wish that they would remake some parts of it, instead of just remaking version 1 with new chromatics. Boyfriend sounds good. Yeah. I don't have much to say, but it is a pretty good song. I really can only think of one complaint, that also being that they didn't remake it, just like For It To Me, but hey, it still sounds pretty good.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
You thought the Koopa worked alone?
I honestly think I might get jumped for not ranking Oh God No higher than it should be, but I'm personally happy with giving it a low A tier. To elaborate on my decision, Mario and Luigi's chromatics sound alright for me. Mario sounds a bit off, but it's not a huge issue that would make me rank the song lower. Luigi kind of does sound like himself, but I'm glad with how they made a variation in regards to I Hate You Luigi's chromatic in his song I Hate You. I guess it does kind of sound like him, but I can really work with it. Now, the song itself sounds like a brotherly fight. Sounds like what two family members arguing in a movie to me would sound like. I don't know if anyone else can make that connection, but that's just how I personally hear the song. The instrumental sounds very good given the context of Mario trying to negotiate with Luigi while he refuses to go back. The calming section sounds so good with the two of them singing and apparently actual lyrics being sung in the instrumental. I didn't even notice that when I first listened to this until multiple people pointed it out. Throughout the whole song is them duetting, and honestly I think it would be better if they gave them more solo sections. I say this because sometimes when listening to the song, it's pretty difficult to tell which vocals belong to Mario and which belong to Luigi. The whole thing sounds good, don't get me wrong, but I think they should give the brothers their own turns instead of duetting for pretty much majority of the whole thing.
Why won't you die?
My end is now.
I honestly don't understand why some people put the end on the bottom of their ranking, because honestly, it sounds so much better than what I remember. Costume's vocals, in my opinion, sound too deep within the first half, but it just sounds like he's using the same octave while Boyfriend actually sounds thick. He sounds good, but he sounds much better in the last stand of the song. Now, this is only the first version of the song, or I guess the version that's currently in Mario's Madness version 2. I don't personally think that it sounds like the finale of the Overworld, because to me, it just sounds like another song within the world, not like the last warning type of deal. But if they ever consider putting in the newer version of The End by Kenny L, they have to put that in. That version sounds like a final warning for the mod, also being the main reason for why this version of the song is so low in my ranking. Now again, we can only wait for the deluxe version to release, but for right now, The End sits at a pretty low spot because of Costume's vocals and the missing intensity for the final song. Oh, Last Course. Used to be one of my favorite songs, but ended up falling down a lot. I still find the song enjoyable, but I don't think it's as strong as it used to be. Turmoil's chromatic sounds perfect given his backstory. He actually does sound like a Yoshi fusion with Mario, and just in general sounds so good throughout the whole song. Boyfriend's chromatic is decent, I guess. I'm not a huge fan of this particular chromatic, and I think they would have gone better using its regular chromatic for this one. The song, however, is pretty good. Both Turmoil and Boyfriend sound good when they both duet, and the instrumental really fits Turmoil's song in my opinion. It sounds as if he just found something that was not meant to be discovered, and judging from Turmoil's overall character, it suits him really well. I guess the only complaint I have about the song is that the final stretch after the beat drop is sort of underwhelming after multiple re-listens. Honestly, I think that this mod relies on beat drops a bit too much. So if a beat drop sounds like how Last Course has it, it's not going to be as good as the other songs in terms of their beat drops. Then again, it could be the reason for why Last Course isn't ranked higher than I wished it could have been. But here we are. I'm happy with how it's ranked, but I wish I could have enjoyed it like I used to.
I live in the forest. I'm all alone. I have no one to talk to.
I think I could have ranked Dark Forest higher because I actually really like this song. Yet it just doesn't feel as strong as the higher ranked songs on this list for me. Forest King's chromatic sounds menacing for a Princess Peach character, even with the higher pitched sections like around the middle. Apart from her actual vocals, she actually does have a tonals, I think. Throughout the middle section of the song, she begins screaming, and honestly, I think they fit the song really well. I don't know much about the Coronation Day ROM hack itself, but I do know that it's infamous for its take on Peach being a deity, and Dark Forest definitely helps strengthen that more with her voice line. I can't really think of any more to say for this song, but if they could have something like Mario coming in at some point instead of just being dropped dead, it will be pretty cool.
That tastes like promotion!
Quick backstory, I used to actually really not like promotion, like at all. But over time, it gradually started to actually grow on me. Stanley's chromatic is a bit goofy, I will admit, which I guess is part of the reason why I didn't used to like it. But it does ironically sound pretty good, especially near the mood swing and the second half of the song. I do like the fact that the team interpreting material from the actual series by Greenio, which I personally have never watched myself, but have heard pretty good things about. Stanley looks extremely uncanny in the second half, but I wish they gave him different vocals for his second phase. His vocals perfectly match the style during the first half, but doesn't really fit well in comparison to his second half. Although everything still sounds good, I think a few voice effects could fix the issue for Stanley around the end. I don't really have much to say for this one either than the fact that everything else sounds good besides Stanley vocals needing some change, but other than that, I love promotion, and I'm glad it grew on me over time. As I stated before, I love it when songs use the tonals for their characters, and luckily for Overdue, Pico is here. But why is it not ranked higher than half of the songs? Well, first I want to get my praises about Overdue out of the way. Mr. L sounds amazing in both his Faker form and in his revealed form. The only thing I would want to be different is for the Faker form section to be longer. Not by a whole lot, but by enough where it doesn't overshadow the revealed Mr. L start. Now for Pico, see, the thing with Pico is that people usually make him freestyle since he can't sing long notes with his tonals, but in Overdue, Pico copies the exact patterns that Mr. L sings, so for the product, Pico's turns just sound sort of empty. Throughout the whole song though, Mr. L sings really good melodies whenever it's his turn, but again, the only problem is that Pico is copying everything that Mr. L sings. That is until Mario's Ghost comes in. Mario's vocals thankfully help complement Pico, yet I wish they were more ghostly, just like the Wario apparition. Now the ending, that is what helped me rank it as high as I put it. Pico sounds much better in the ending with the amount of notes that he has to sing, and Mr. L sounds amazing while he gradually taunts Pico in the background. I love Overdue, but it would have been a top favorite for me if they fixed the problems I just listed, like for Pico. Just sounding empty. But hey, what are you gonna do, right? The only thing I can really remember Abandon for is the switch up around the middle of the song. And that kind of sucks because I actually really like the F&F styled section at the beginning. Luigi's vocals sound pretty good, though I think they should add some sort of effects to him, which I think he's supposed to be like some sort of entity. As I said before, I don't know much about the Greenio series, but I know Luigi is very important for the series, and that might be some sort of anomaly. I could be wrong, but I think it would be cool to add some voice effects to its chromatic. The song sounds pretty good by itself without the underwater sections. However, it sounds even better with them. I love how slow the song turns whenever both Luigi and Boyfriend sing with the water taking up the UI, and I think it really does help strengthen how unnerving the series is as a whole, and their way of interpreting it into an FNF mod. The ending, I personally say it's pretty good. Again, I don't know much about Greenio's series on Mario Classified, but I do like the way that they interpret Luigi's character. It just makes it seem like he's very wrong in any way possible. But I don't know. I wish they could have interpreted the FNF style more.
If you bet on another anime chick, I swear to Goomba, I'm going to send you to Bowser's castle and have you executed! You son of a Goomba!
Ever since version 1, I Hate You has been my favorite out of the original song. I Hate You Luigi's vocals sound so cool, and mixed with the actual song, I don't even know where to begin. Whenever Luigi and Boyfriend duet in this song, both of their chromatics blend very well together. The intensity for Luigi's turns really show the pure hatred that he has towards Mario in the context of this creepypasta. The only thing I could really complain about is that the song is just too short for version 2. It's the same length as version 1, but it genuinely deserves an extension, just like Race Trader. Hopefully they do consider that for Deluxe, because then the song would be one of my top favorites, but it's still amazing. Even the references to the creepypasta are memorable for me. The eyeless booze, the bloody text, even the drowned Mario corpses. I just love this song so much, but it definitely needs to have a longer, extended version with maybe new melodies. But hey, at least it's in the top of the A tiers. I've seen a lot of people say that version 1 of Golden Land is better than version 2, but I personally have to disagree. Don't get me wrong, I really like version 1 of Golden Land, but version 2 of it really steps things up. GB's vocals sound more pixelated in my opinion, which suits him very well, and thankfully they made him much more quieter. I didn't mind how he sounded in version 1, but he was just so loud that you could barely even hear Boyfriend. Fortunately, version 2 of Golden Land as GB Player was still audible enough to hear him sing alongside Boyfriend around the end. Even the laughing fits with the new pixel effect, which version 1 didn't have at all. I feel like they could have made more parts unique instead of just tweaking the chromatics and instrumental, but if this version of Golden Land stayed, I'd take it like it.
Check this out. Have a nice day.
You gonna tell Mom I was smoking?
No, Mario, I'm not gonna tell.
I used to love watching the original animation of Luigi's Day Out when I was younger, so when I saw that it was actually going to be in the mod, I was very hyped. Apparently there have been previous versions of Day Out that I have actually not listened to, but according to most people, the version we have now is much better than what was teased. Mario's vocals sound so good, using the chromatic from the animation. Luigi's taken the same way, and I have to say, the song is just super catchy. I think it could have been better if we had sections where Mario and Luigi rapped together, instead of Luigi just taking some of Boyfriend's turns. Basically a duet between the two. In case I needed to specify. The whole thing is just a bop and truly deserves being ranked at least in A tier or higher, even if it is just right there under S tier for me. Also, now that I think about it, if they have Mario and Luigi sing together against Boyfriend, maybe they could have Boyfriend and Girlfriend also do a duet between them. Then maybe it could be a bit better, but hey, the song we have now is very good. But if it ever gets considered, I'll be happy.
Why'd you bring the kid?
'Cause my mom's a fucking idiot! Here we go!
Oh boy, and now we have the S tier songs. Starting off with Starman Slaughter. I could not believe that they went this hard for the second song in the entire mod. 4 minutes of runtime and all of it is just amazing. Mario's vocals don't really change, at least for how I hear him, but he still sounds amazing nonetheless. Then we have John Dick, the Parabone. Not gonna lie, I wasn't expecting the trumpet to suddenly come into stage, but the three of them sound amazing when all singing together. And by three, I mean Mario, John, Boyfriend. Then, after a little bit of duetting, maybe, I think that's what it's called, but once Horror Mario falls, we get introduced to Horror Peach and Yoshi.exe. Peach being the main singer and Yoshi as the backup. They sound so good when singing together against Boyfriend. I just wish that either their section was just a little bit longer, or that they sung along with Horror Mario instead of just being killed off by him once he returned. Speaking of which, when Horror Mario comes back, his chromatic after being burnt sounds so much better than when he goes against Boyfriend. That's up that sentence. Anyway, this whole song just has little to no problems, and hopefully it stays that way besides a few tweaks like the ones I just listed. But if they ever get put in, Starman Slaughter might be a top 5 for me. Alright, I know it might seem a bit harsh for me to put a song like Bad Day in front of Starman Slaughter. A song that I just said had little to no problems. But come on, I just enjoy Bad Day so much more. The instrumental just gives me Mario Party vibes, and of course I'm in love with Mario Party games in general. I actually grew up with them, honestly. Super Bad Mario's vocals sound really good, and is actually what I would imagine a regular Mario chromatic to sound like, just in FNF in general. Every duet between Mario and Boyfriend sound amazing. I actually watched the Super Bad Mario series on YouTube a while back once Mario's Madness came out because I had no idea what this song was referencing. And just to say, I love how well they interpret his character into the song after watching it. Using the Koopa shells, the poison mushrooms, and messing with the UI is so cool, and is definitely in character for Super Bad Mario. I love Super Bad Mario, and I will continue to love him and Bad Day for as long as I wish to. Oh yeah, I also have to mention the I Got a Good Feeling motif, and I can't lie, Mario's vocals executed very well, and I think it really does mesh well with the rest of the song. Maybe they could have made it a bit longer, in my opinion. I like longer songs, but oh well, at least it's an S tier. I remember that when I first played and streamed this mod, now it's lost media, oh well. My first reaction from after playing this song was, how are all of these so good? I remember it as if Mario's Madness had just released like last week. That's how much I love Mario singing Game Rhythm 9. Somari's vocals are just heavenly, not only by himself, but with duetting with Boyfriend and the instrumental along with his high notes. I find it funny how Samari is considered one of, if not the worst, bootleg of all time, and then here he is with one of the best songs I have ever heard in FNF. I don't understand how people can actually hate on the song and really call it the worst. The instrumental actually does sound like a Genesis soundtrack and just sort of gives off the feeling of nostalgia of older retro games. The fact that I put this song barely on my top 10 though does say a lot, but it's just so good to be even considered to be ranked lower. This song had the biggest glow up in FNF history, and you cannot tell me otherwise. For context, version 1 of Alone was actually just atrociously horrible. The melodies were bland, the instrumental was flat, Beta Luigi sounded so groggy for some reason, and the song was dragged out for way too long with the same boring consistency. But version 2, I could say less about what I love about it. Beta Luigi now actually sounds like Luigi, and he sounds like he's just restraining his emotions from coming out about the loss of Mario. The melodies are so much more memorable, especially with the motif of the original Luigi's Mansion jingle, and they are used ultimately well when it's used in the song. The instrumental sounds like an official Nintendo track that could be used for Luigi's Mansion games, and it just blends so well with Luigi's vocals here. Now, the song length is doubled. You might think I'll say that it's a bad thing, but it's quite the opposite actually. As I stated before, I like longer songs. In fact, we wouldn't have had Beta Mario's singing section if it wasn't doubled, and oh my god, Mario here just sounds amazing. Do I need to say more about this part? There's no repeated sections that I could think of as of writing this script, and if there are, they are still used very well, but the song deserves to be 4 minutes long. I don't care what anyone else says, Alone got the biggest glow up and does not deserve to be tinkered with further. Alright, now for the big finale song. I'm sure most people would have put this song as the top song in the mod on their list, but I don't quite think it deserves that level, at least for me. Since this is an 8-minute long song, I'm going to break down each section act by act. For Act 1, Ultra M sounds amazing with the new devilish chromatic. I honestly can't tell if they use the same chromatic as his original Over Mario form and just slapped effects on it, but that's what I love about it. It's a different character and maybe a different chromatic, almost like the Bambi treatment. If you know, you know. The beginning truly does feel like it's about to end, and it just takes a matter of time until you get there. Boyfriend and girlfriend sound great when they sing together, which, speaking of which, I love when girlfriend gets a different chromatic instead of using a previous one, such as Hypno's Lullaby girlfriend's chromatic. I don't know, I feel like it can get a bit overused sometimes. But back to All Stars, once Ultra M just seemingly kidnaps girlfriend, we get to Act 2. Instead of Ultra M this time, we face Omega, which I believe is a minion to Ultra M. His chromatic is just good in my opinion. I don't really think that his chromatic is anything special and isn't used to its fullest potential here, which I think is a bit of a downer. He sounds good, but I think he could be used a bit more. Then we get to LG, W4R, and Y0SH. The best part of the entirety of Act 2, and maybe the whole song. All three of their voices sound amazing when they sync up, and it just adds so much harmony. It's, oh my god, it's just so good. I think the only thing I could really say for Act 2 is for them to bring back Omega for when they synchronize, or just don't have him leave at all and have him sing along with his minion. And it really adds for a great build-up that is Act 3. Now, Act 3 is definitely the weakest out of the 4 acts. Well, at least for me. GF, now being GX, sounds mostly the same other than some voice effects. Maybe they could have done something differently, like maybe a new chromatic, but I think it does sound nice when she sings with boyfriend, making the sad atmosphere of what happened to girlfriend. Then once Ultra M actually starts to sing lyrics, that is my favorite part for Act 3. Bit of spoilers. However, his voice is just too quiet compared to when GX and Boyfriend sing that it's actually quite difficult to hear him. Even the instrumental somehow overpowers him, but at least it adds the suspense to the act, I guess. I wish they could have made him louder though. And then we get to Act 4. Ultra M taunts the player about fighting a losing battle. He gives us his final stretch. This is my favorite act as of right now, because it just shows how menacing Ultra M is right here, being able to mimic the voices of our past opponents. Speaking of, that might be my only complaint. Some mimics are just too quiet, some are used for a short time, while some are able to be heard perfectly and are used for a reasonable time. I do also wish that they used all of the characters in some way. For example, oh my god, Ultra M uses opponents like GB, I Hate You Luigi, Turmoil, Wario Apparition, Coronation Day Peach, etc, etc. But we don't see characters like Chris Pratt, Granddad, Sumari, you know, some of the more, I guess, obscure characters in the mod. I do wish that they interpreted them in some other way, like, I don't know, somehow Boyfriend being able to mimic. That's a video that I've seen somewhere. But, I mean, don't get me wrong, the mimics still sound very good. Now, once Boyfriend sings his solo, it truly shows how desperate he is to save himself from M's hellish world. The lyrics in the background add to it so much more, even if they are a bit quiet. Then, for the send-off of the mod, we are shown that Boyfriend has been killed. Used up all of his lives just trying to fight back against Ultra M. Yeah, All-Stars does probably deserve to be higher, but with the amount of tweaks that I think should be needed and that I just listed, I definitely would put it higher. But for right now, I'm happy with where it's currently at, and for how the song is executed. gonna seem crazy putting Power Down above All Stars, am I? Well, it's true. I honestly think Power Down is much better than the finale song of the entire mod. Version 1 of Power Down I just thought was mid. Some parts were memorable for me, but other than that, I just did not think much of MX. But version 2 really picks things up. Instead of MX just appearing, we get introduced to his false hero form. And somehow they actually make this form look somewhat uncanny. The still frame, no thoughts behind that head, I love it. And then we get introduced to the Beast himself. MX's vocals aren't that much different compared to version 1 from what I can remember, but they make his main melody so much better by making the speed of the song faster. It really shows just how cool this 12-foot tall demon is. The duets between him and Boyfriend are pretty good too. I don't really have much to say about it, but then once again to the final part. We see MX kill Girlfriend brutally, and as the beat drops, Boyfriend realizes just how much danger he's in, singing with a more high-pitched tone as he continues to duet with MX. And as the screen fades to black going through, with tense rapping and instrumental, we're left with only one option: run. We'll get back to MX later. I guess my only complaint about Power Down is that I guess they could have made his false hero section longer, like how they could have done for Mr. L's figure form in Overdue, but everything else is quite executed very well, I cannot lie. And yes, I will stand that this is better than All Stars as of right now. Until the deluxe comes out, my opinion might change.
You're poor!
Hey look, it's the Among Us guy. I swear his nose looked exactly like the visor when I first saw it. Anyway, DJ Halliboo's opening to this song sounds really menacing, even with his sort of goofy chromatic. I believe he's based off the other Mario Party host, whom I forgot the name of, and the actual anti-piracy screen of Mario Party, which is really well made, I must say. But after that opening, the rest of the song just becomes such a bop and sounds exactly like a Mario Party track. Their duets, the guitar solo and the instrumental, the interruptions of DJ Halliboo to Boyfriend, saying that piracy is no party. Everything about No Party is just so good, and I cannot talk about the fact that the instrumental of the guitar solo near the end, that is just executed so well. When I first played this, I genuinely could not stop jamming to that instrumental every time I died to No Party, because I could not figure out the mechanic, honestly. But everything about No Party is just so good.
me! Granddad!
Fight me. I do not care for what anyone says. Nourishing Blood is peak and deserves to be in my top 5. Which, actually, I should mention this used to be my favorite song ever in this mod, even if it was just a joke song. But, I mean, hey, at least it's still in my top 5 around 3 years later. I don't know. Granddad's vocals are so goofy, yet they fit so well for the song, especially his character. This is a perfect example of a joke song actually being peak, unlike most notorious joke songs, like spam tracks. Also, this is one of the only songs that actually uses a different boyfriend chromatic, if not the only one. The amount of references to different kinds of media, the different songs, the characters running in the background, the different bootlegs once the song switches backgrounds. God, everything about this song is just so good. I will continue to love Nourishing Blood forever because every bit of this song is just too memorable for me to ignore.
I am already in your head.
I genuinely cannot believe how much I overlooked Paranoia on my first ranking of this mod. At first it was only just a low tier for me, if I remember correctly, but after many re-listens, Paranoia has become one of my top favorite songs. Mr. Virtual's chromatic is so uneasy to hear, but it sounds so good given his overall past and character. They managed to make him mesh well with not only boyfriend, but also with girlfriend in the Faker section. The instrumental is unlike any other one that I have genuinely heard. It really gives you the feeling on just how intense Mr. Virtual's character is, and I love they did that about him. And I also cannot ignore the fact that they got the official creator of Mr. Virtual to help him out with this song. And dude, the amount of effort that they had just put into this mod, I love it. I love the team for that. The Faker girlfriend section is pretty good for me, but it's not my favorite part. But yet it makes Mr. Virtual much more menacing. It just shows how much of a manipulator he is. And then the ending. The ending is why I ranked this so high on the list. Not a lot of people, at least from what I've seen, talk about this section, and that hurts me. This is one of the most underlooked sections, or overlooked sections, I guess, I don't know, that I have ever seen for Mario's Madness in general. I will continue to defend this song if I need to, even my favorite part, and just to remind myself on how much it truly deserves to be placed this high on the rank. And if Deluxe ever comes out, I feel like Paranoia might not get touched, but if they do tinker with it, I hope they make it better than what they do, or like how they executed it right now for version 2, or if they don't touch it, I mean sure, it might get ranked a bit lower, but it will still continue to be one of my top favorites.
I am your demise.
Okay. I know what most of you are thinking. What do you mean you put Demise in your top 3? That song is trash. Buddy, it's called an opinion. The beginning of the song, where you're told to run while MX maniacally laughs before chasing you, sets up the perfect chase sequence. Just think about it. You're running away from a 12-foot tall beast while he's chasing you at full speed. You literally have nothing to do but run. Most people flame MX and this song in general for just being spammy, and that his vocals don't work for the song. I disagree. He sounds perfect in my opinion, and I don't actually hear the spammy parts at all. And oh boy, the most hated part of the song, the underground section. Now, honestly, I can see why people despise this part, the tonals, then straight back into quote-unquote spammy song. But remember what I love? The tonals. I love Demise because of this specific part. That and the fact that Boyfriend is practically begging for his life with how much he's singing at the top of his lung. Kenny L really knew what she was doing when making this song, and I admire her work for that. Then after the underground section, we get the final breakthrough. We get one last solo between Boyfriend and MX. MX taunts him, and once we see him get closer, he falls down, and the girlfriend comes in to save us. Just for MX to arrive again. Now the final part, I can really hear the spam in MX's voice here, and I don't know how, but to me, Boyfriend somehow overpowers this. Not overpower exactly, but you're able to hear him instead of just hearing MX go. MX is a little hard to hear, I guess, but when singing with Boyfriend in this part, that is quite the reason for why it's not first on this ranking. I guess Boyfriend does kind of overshadow MX here, but then again, blame me all you want, Demise is peak, and I will continue to stand by that until the FNF community dies, which at this point probably will be soon.
Cannot beat me.
And here we are, the true finale of the mod. A 10-minute showdown. If you know what the top song is, I'm sorry, but I genuinely don't like Unbeatable as much as that one. And Unbeatable by itself is just so goddamn good. Now, just like All Stars, since this is a longer song and has sections, I'm going to break down Mr. Steal Your Soul and the rest of the sections. For level 1, Mr. SYS, who I'll be referring to now, somehow sounds unnerving, at least for me, but his voice is oddly satisfying to listen to. I'm glad they decided to go the long way and give him an actual chromatic that can sing long notes, otherwise this song would have sounded pretty bad. The melody actually fits his section pretty well, and sounds like yet another retro game countdown or something. The Don't Miss part, however, this part is just so good between Mr. SYS and Boyfriend duetting. I think he uses a tonals here. I can't really hear it because of the instrumental, but Everything about this section, however, just sounds very good. And now we move on to level 2. Here we have the Duck Hunt dog. And just like Mr. SYS, they use his own voice line from the original commercial as his chromatic. I actually really like how Duck Hunt sounds here, even when he spams the you cannot beat us voice line, but hey, it fits. His actual chromatic sounds really good. Again, the duets making these sections so much better. And then we get to the tonal sections and oh my god, it's amazing. You have Boyfriend beatboxing, then Duck Hunt barking, you get the minions in the back, then the You Cannot Beat Us. Everything about this is just so good. And then we get to the final part of this section. And this is where Duck Hunt is used the best, at least in my opinion. For level 2. Now level 3, surprise surprise, we finally have Bowser in a Mario mod, horror Mario mod, and they do my boy justice. He mainly uses the tonals for his section, and for those sections where they don't use the actual chromatic, they sound amazingly well done. At first I didn't even notice he was actually singing when they switched to his chromatic, because I just got so hooked on his tonals, honestly. But listening to them again and again just made me realize how well a tonals and a chromatic can work well together for one character. A few there, you're about to make a song that sounds great. Then we get to the mini intermission, and you think that you're just about finished after Boyfriend is done with his little solo here, but you'd be wrong. For level 4, this is where everything goes all out, and they make it sound perfect. Mr. SYS is first, and they make his vocals sound so good while going against Boyfriend again. The background then glitches and Duck Hunt barges in, corrupting the background, and this part is where Duck Hunt is used to the best of his ability in my opinion. Bowser does the same and glitches the background as well, and with just using a tonals, they made him sound really well, even the lakitus in the back popping off. Then after Boyfriend solo, it happens. Mr. SYS, Duck Hunt, and Bowser all team up and put everything on the line to tell Boyfriend that he cannot win, just for the two of them to end up in a tie. Unbeatable had a huge glow up from its previous version, which I will not be listening to again for the sake of my own being. And making level 4 was a blessing for the FNF community when Mario's Madness first released. I guess you could say Unbeatable wasn't too in-depth compared to All-Stars, but I couldn't think of any complaints at all that I have with Unbeatable. Not even the time length, honestly. Everything about this song is so good. However, the number 1 spot belongs to another song.
Oh, mamma mia!
We did what you said, Mario. The Kickstarter sucked. The thing's done.
The game wasn't much popular than people thought, boyfriend. You think I don't know about the merchandise? You tried to fuck me.
I just had to let that opening play out. This song used to be just one of my favorites, but after many re-listens of this OST, this song just stuck with me more than Unbeatable. Dictator Mario's chromatic is so fucking good for this song, and he actually sounds like an insane person who is willing to kill anyone to his liking if he's not looked up to properly. The duets between Mario and Boyfriend also sound so heavenly to me, even with the multiple takes on the instrumental, such as the brief pauses, just continuing as a whole. But the ending, oh the ending. Boyfriend at the end goes all out, just trying to negotiate with Mario about anything he can do to just keep his life. But once Mario makes up his mind, he does what needs to be done, and finishes business by just blowing up Boyfriend and Girlfriend. This song's melodies are the exact reason as to why the song is ranked so high. That's just how good they are. I love Dictator so much, and I will continue to love it for as much as I want to. I guess it does suck to some people that I decided to put Dictator above a song like Unbeatable or All Stars or even Starman Slaughter for that matter. But dude, Kenny L, she really knows how to make a song a bop. I genuinely cannot think of a single song that Kenny made that sounded bad. Not even bad, just mid. All of her songs are so good, and I'm glad that she was able to compose Dictator to be one of my favorite songs personally. And from there, we have now reached the end of my Mario's Madness Remastered ranking. And there's my ranking. I know that I've been gone for quite some time now, but honestly I just had a lot of my stuff on my plate that I've been wanting to get to. A lot of time consuming stuff and genuinely just procrastinating a lot. However, I want to turn things around with this very original series and get some more mods covered whenever I can. Now that that's out of the way, stay tuned for once this video releases, because then I'll be working on the remaster of my YTP Invasion V3 ranking. And oh boy, that's gonna be more critical than this one, because there are some songs that I genuinely think are pretty bad. And for this series, I might cover more smaller mods, as these bigger mods tend to take more time. Plus, I am not as diverse with FNF mods as someone like Community Game, who just covers the more obscure mods. But hey, we'll see how things work out. And plus, I get to use more of these sprites that I made up. Anyway, peace, and I will see you in the next ranking.